Today we are replaced a hive that had died last year, and what we did, we installed a Russian queen because that hive that possibly died was because of mites. Many of the beekeepers today lose bees because of mites killing them. All 50 states in the United States have mites. So many of the hives have to be replaced. So what I did, I went to my hive that I have and borrowed some of the bees and then bought a queen, midnight, not a Russian queen, because they have resistance against mites that kill the bees. So today what I did, I brought some of my bees here and took some of the combs from that box that I brought and installed it in this box here. So the bees are now here that I brought from my place. Now the bees are very interesting and very important. They're on the extinct list because of the mites. And so bees are important because they do pollination. They pollinate the flowers. Without them, you wouldn't have your fruit and many of your vegetables because of the bees and pollinating. So they are necessary in our United States. What's interesting about bees, they have an inborn sense. They're like a community, and every bee has some job to do. You have your nurse bees. You have bees that are used for guarding the hive. Bees that fly in and out to bring in the nectar, bees that take care of the young eggs. Bees also can move around and keep the hive warm for the eggs to survive. They can bring it up to 90 degrees inside the cluster. So bees would be a good model how they get along in society. Even would be able to be taught in classes, which I wish would be taught more in classrooms, because it shows how even though everybody is different, or they all work together, they all have an assignment and they volunteer to do it on their own. So bees are very interesting how they are. Usually a hive will have like 30,000 to 40,000 bees in a strong hive throughout the year. So, and it's a hobby that's very interesting, by the way. The more you watch them, the more you get involved with the bees. So I recommend if you have a chance to someday own a hive and see the enjoyment of how they operate. Now, when the kids come in to see the bees, you'll notice that we have an enlarged tube, and the bees are going to be going in and out and coming in, and at the same time you can be with them and see what they're doing, but you're safe because they're only in the tube, they're not flying in the building. Also, you see an observation window here where you can see some of the bees, and you know that the queen is in there somewhere. One thing that we also have here is a hive that you can go into without the bees being there, and it tells the story all about the bees, and there it shows the queen, and you can learn about the bees by using this observation hive. So you're actually going into a hive without the bees and learning about honeybees in that observation hive. It's unique to have an indoor hive because you will be inside, and it's unusual because with the indoor temperature, the bees in the wintertime want to go out because it's warm in here, and sometimes they'll go out and go into the snow and die. But somehow they were able to get some of the cool air through this tube and yet be inside a building and be able to live better because there's warm temperatures inside a building. So, but it's unusual to find a hive inside a building. All right, later after this hive becomes stronger, I'm going to add what is called, this is the brood chamber where the queen lives and where she lays the eggs. A queen will lay about 1,500 eggs a day, believe it or not. About 300 bees die a day, so that's why she lays 1,500 to replace those that die. The bees will go in and out high, and they will live a short life because they wear their wings off going in and out, or they just use too much of their energy to survive. And that's why the queen lays 1,500 eggs a day. Later on, after this hive gets stronger, I'm going to add what is called supers, where they store the honey. And what I do, I use smoke. I smoke them, and the smoke irritates their throat. And when they irritates their throat, they take honey to make it much smoother inside. And so that when they take more honey, they become more gentle. So when I add the supers, I'm going to smoke them first and then add supers on top. So then the supers are where they store the honey.